What are you willing to give up to get to the next level? I mean, as you develop as a leader, you will get to a point where it appears that what you got you to where you are now may not get you to the next level. Just as an example, um, Chris, I work with, knew that on one level, expectations of her had shifted. She still was expected to get it done, but now get it done through others. I mean, would you dare give up that control? Delegate, yes, but by the time I get them up to speed, I could have done it myself. I mean, you're really asking me to trust people? Malcolm's issue wasn't really one about delegation. His was compromise. He thought he had already compromised enough to really earn the right to be a vice president. I mean, he was already feeling, for instance, that he was no longer one of the boys, that things he used to say suddenly carried a different weight. I mean, he had not really anticipated that the impact of his position in terms of that kind of influence. Lynn, on the other hand, had made similar transitions before, had been promoted several times already. Each of these moves had been significant increases in responsibility. I mean, as an example, she really knew what it took to run $1 million P&L, and kind of jumping to a $5 million one was just adding more, she thought. This time the jump felt more exponential, a significant organization and career leap. Not just more, but actually qualitatively and quantitatively different. She was not sure that the same things she had done in the same way would get her the same results. So what do you give up in order to move up? Let's pinpoint what I think are 5 likely changes. One of them is you really can no longer rely on your hard-earned and well-served, hands-on approach driven by no one can do it better than I can, or I dare not leave my comfort zone of what has worked before. I mean, you have to get more work done through others. 2, you have to demonstrate a strategic enterprise perspective. I mean, you have to give up, to be real specific, leading off by saying that won't work, and start off, with asking, I mean, what are we trying to accomplish here? The third one, instead of focusing on the subject matter expertise and the known capability that you have now and that you need now, I mean, in effect, relying on your comfort zone, you really have to expand your focus to what individual and organizational capability and capacity is needed for the future. The fourth thing, your approach to influencing others usually has come through this power of your position and your control over all the resources and rewards. It really is the thing that's been accompanied with how you've gotten things done. You've got to give up some of that, or at least blend that with this increased power of persuasion, influencing others, being able to see things from their perspective, understanding and addressing the needs of others. And the fifth one, quite frankly, is you actually have to look good under the lights. Now, performance always matters. I'm not discounting that. It's just that at some point in the organization, the value of your performance no longer differentiates you from another person. And it's at that point that the image that you have, do you actually look like you belong in that role, becomes more and more important. Equally more and more important is the exposure. How many people know who you are? Now, in a real practical sense, you probably have to give up this concern you have about the politics of an organization. If you're one of those who says, I don't like being in a place where it's more important who knows you than it is what you do, you just sort of have to get over it. Because it has always been true that the whole pie, performance, image, and exposure, are critical elements to you moving ahead in the organization and getting to the next level. So the question really becomes, what are you willing to give up in order to get to that next level? Greg Pennington, Pennpoint Consulting Group.